Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
that's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, FDA approved for over 20 years. So, talk to your specialist to see if Botox Cosmetic is right for you.
For full prescribing information, including boxed warning, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
Remember to ask for Botox Cosmetic by name. To see for yourself and learn more, visit BotoxCosmetic.com. That's BotoxCosmetic.com.
This episode is brought to you by Opel, the first over-the-counter daily birth control pill available in the U.S. Opel is FDA approved, full prescription strength, and estrogen-free. Plus, there's no prescription needed. Finally, the days of needing a prescription for birth control are over. Opel is available online and at most major retailers. Take control of your health and reproductive journey with Opel. Birth control in your control. Use code BIRTHCONTROL for 25% off your first month of Opel at opel.com.
Hello, welcome to a very demure, very mindful, very cutesy kind of podcast where we keep it so demure you almost can't even see us or hear us. You're just like, what are those like little like fairy wings flapping? We're just like a little breeze in the wind. Very cutesy and very demure. Also, I have to say, I'm loving that this is becoming, when you search on TikTok, mindful. It's this. As opposed to like the mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
This to me is inspirational content. It's inspirational, it's aspirational, it's motivational, it's manifestation.
One time back in my TaskRabbit days.
Participating or standing in line? Like employing the people, or when you stood in line for the Kylie and Kendall book?
Kylie Kendall
okay.
Type things.
Your standing era.
Yeah, it was a lot of people were just hiring me to do the most random shit. One time it was 4th of July, and it was when I first moved here, so I didn't really have any friends yet. And they hired me just to like come to the party and like help set up for the party. But then they invited me to stay for the party, and they had a rooftop. But even with the setup, I really didn't do anything because one of them went to Costco and bought stuff, and then I just kind of helped bring it inside, and it was all platters and things. So it wasn't really anything for me to do. So I just hung out and then like went, and then, you know, they had a rooftop and did fireworks. They were like maybe a little bit older than me, but like people my own age.
That's fun.
Yeah. And there was another one where it was another party where I thought it was their house, but they had rented it in Venice, this 3-story house. And that one was like supposed to be like cleaning up at the party, but people were just throwing their things away. So I also was just hanging out. It wasn't even like cleaning up. It was just like if anybody needed anything, then they actually hired somebody that was doing the cleaning. But like if anybody, like just talk to them, just kind of be a host. Okay.
So you were like a bottle girl at someone's house. Honestly, what a fucking gig.
What a fucking gig. And I was getting paid like $40, $50 an hour. But then the one I was specifically talking about for this was a mindfulness retreat in some mountains. And also supposed to be just like, if anybody needs anything, then just like give them a water. But people were getting their own water because it was just water bottles in the mountains. And so I was also just participating at this mindfulness retreat, but she was just like, I was like sitting and doing the exercises and things. And then she was talking about how to be mindful while you're eating. And I was just like, what is this? What? And like, I have pictures of, like, if you scroll back far enough into my Instagram, I have pictures from it. And it's just hanging out.
That's so funny. People can sell anything.
They can. And I don't even know if she, like, it was something that people were paying for. I think it was just her volunteering.
Okay. I love endeavors that people do.
I do too. And I love how, honestly, people were just hiring for anything. And this was back when it wasn't like a fixed cost, when too many people started signing up for it. This was when you had to bid for things. And so they wanted the best people. So they were taking the highest bid from the best people. And I was like, I'm just existing. So
wow.
Now things probably like that would probably only be like $20 or whatever. I don't know what minimum wage is now.
17 something.
Whatever
here.
it is, it'd be like a couple dollars higher than that.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that was like an era of TaskRabbit.
Yes. The early eras were the best eras where you were making bank for doing nothing.
Speaking of eras that only some people can relate to, including Motz's Chipotle era, with you also relating to a small town business blowing up big. He can now also relate to you in the Walmart town, because turns out where he went to one of his golf things was in Kohler. I want to say it was Wisconsin or Minnesota. I think it's Wisconsin. Kohler, Wisconsin. And he goes, you know what that is? And I was like the refrigerators? And he was like, yeah. And like, it's that they like own the town, the factories there. And he was like, I'd never been to a town like that. I was like, oh, bitch, I've been to a town like that. I was like, is it not Disneyland? They're like pumping out sweet smells in the street. You've never seen a place cleaner. And you go, people live here? Like, it's literally like Disneyland. And Mats was like, it was amazing. And we go to the golf club, which apparently the guy's son built. And they have like junior golf camps every summer that are like for free, because like he wants to get like youth interested in golf. And like Mats was like playing, and the guy who's giving Mats and his brother like their free lesson was like, oh yeah, that's Mr. Kohler. And they're like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, he comes every year. They've got like a free junior golf camp that he started, and he like comes to like, you know, watch, meet the kids and see the tournament that they like do at the end of it or whatever. I was like, okay, I know what I would do if I had fuck you money. I'd have my little Disneyland town. I have free camps for kids who want to do stuff. Would it be golf? Probably not. But it'd be something fun.
Field day.
It'd be like a regular camp, which also made me think of the time Mats and I were talking about wilderness camps and like parents who send their kids there so they don't have to parent them, and then they abuse the kids and it gets all fucked up. And it reminded me that my dad had one of those camps that he essentially marketed to parents, like he would be taking their kids to wilderness camp. And then the kids would get there and he'd be like, fuck that. We're doing therapy and we're going swimming and your parents are fucking up your lives and we're going to talk all about it. And it was like the exact opposite. But like he was, you know, worked in like youth, like deferring like the school to prison pipeline and all that stuff. So like you assume and you think it's one of those style camps, but it was not. And I used to go there and all the boys were so cute. And I was like, need to find a boy who doesn't know my dad. But to be fair, that doesn't exist. So
welcome to my life too.
Once I gave that up, then I was like, okay, now I'm dating in high school or middle school. But like before, when I was like, no, I can't like do anyone who knows my dad. I was like, bitch, all these boys have smoked weed and gotten drunk and got sent there.
My dad's just a social butterfly and knows everything.
We've said this before. I would be shocked if your dad does not at some point was not given a giant set of scissors and a ribbon to cut open the opening of something in the town as like the town. So he's literally the town social chair.
I don't think anybody would trust him with that.
Okay, but he would just be the social chair, like a cardboard cutout at an ice cream shop. Like, welcome to the town social chair.
Yep.
I love that though. It's such a vibe.
When I went home sometime, I don't remember which time it was, I went to one of the children's baseball. So it would have been a baseball game. And we were walking and somebody was like, Melisa? I was like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Then we kept walking. And then my dad was like, you don't know who that is. I said, yeah, that's, and I said the person's name. And she's like, he was like, oh, where's her dad at? And I was just like, oh, God.
I'm obsessed with that. And it's always so funny that like the most social, most extrovert marries the person who's like, please don't do this. Please. It's always a person who wants to make friends on vacation. And the one who is like, I will actually fucking die if you try and make friends with these strangers on vacation. And like, that's your mom, right? Your mom's like not for it.
My mom is also out a lot, but more in a volunteer or on a social committee, but not let's go hang out and party. But I did find out that she was like that when she was when they first met.
Wasn't there like a and you go, oh, okay, you put up a big fight when he's doing this, and You've known this. The whole,
You
participate.
You were that person. Did I tell you the whole story? I don't think I told you the whole story.
I don't know.
I'll tell you off mic.
I think that's...
It is not something that should be on record.
Fair. So, welcome to another episode of But Am I Wrong? Where we two people who have not once ever been wrong talk about when we've been wrong, if we've been wrong, when you've been wrong, as in you, listener, and when other people, celebrities, pop culture, things in current events, when they're wrong. So just, it's ethical shit talking is what we like to call it. And a little bit of gossip, mostly shit talking. And it's a grand old, funneled, wonderful time. And we will explain each of our 3 segments before we get into them. But what you really need to know is we like to open this up for voting. So you can vote on who you think was wrong in each segment. We have that posted over on our Instagram stories. And we start a highlight. So just check to see what the number is. And it'll either be in the most recent highlight towards the very end or at the beginning of the next one.
I got a lot of things going on over here. You can check them out on Patreon.
Perfect plug. Check it out on Patreon. See everything that Melissa is going through physically because it's a lot. So, vote. And then also please submit and write in why you voted the way you did, your thoughts and feelings, because we also read those aloud on the episode where we read the results of the votes, which is Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. So that'll be from the previous week. And stay tuned. Listen. Check it out. We love to hear from you. And if you voted differently than like we did or what we talked about, unless like the topic is fraught, there's no hard feelings. Like you can say you disagree and you feel a different way about it. I promise we're not like trying to bait you. If it's something really bad, like, yeah, we will be like, that's pretty fucked up. But But
please write in. Please write in so that we can hear your like why people like. I feel like the last couple episodes, the votes have been like pretty like split.
Yeah.
Like and so I want to know what other people's thoughts are. So please write in and let us know.
Yeah. And again, like I would say for those ones, like nothing was super contentious in a way. Mm-hmm. It's not like, do you love racism? Yes or no? Like we're not that one. Yeah, we'll judge you. But for some of the ones where it's just like a matter of differing opinion, we see that the difference is there. And like, we'd love to hear from that side of it. So first up, we have, But Am I Wrong? Where we propose either a hot take, a lukewarm take, a rant, or something that is going on in our life that we want to know if we are in the wrong about. So mine is a rant. I'm not even calling it a hot take because I think it might have been a hot take a month ago or a couple weeks ago, but now I'm firmly believing this is just a rant and we're all agreeing. And that is the Paralympics TikTok needs to rein it in and change their strategy. I don't know if you have seen what they have been posting from the beginning. As soon as I saw it for the first time, I will say first up, my entire For You page is the Olympics. I haven't gotten a single video about the Paralympics from the official Paralympics account. And like when I say I'm like my entire For You page is the Olympics, it is like it's Peacock's Olympic coverage. It's the Olympics official TikTok. It's all of those verified official accounts that are also running the Paralympics TikTok. And it's not showing up in the algorithm, which to me is like, yeah, because the content you are making on the Paralympics is vastly different than what you are making on the Olympics TikTok account.
I get videos every time I get on. So I am subscribed to it.
This is something that they, I thought was recent, but apparently this has been like their content strategy for like the last year or so. Or the last like I think it was for at least the last
it's been a
while. And there have been tons of people who are like super just not cool with it. And like they have, said that this is fine. It's, we're run by somebody who is okay with this. And what I have read, I haven't gotten like official. That's like someone who has done this is someone who is disabled. It's like a disabled. I don't know if they're an athlete, but someone who's a part of that community. And therefore, that's kind of been the catch-all that I've seen from able-bodied people who are talking about it and being like, it's fine. Like they're disabled. It's fine. There is a hell of a lot of disabled people who are not cool with it. And for me, I think the vast difference between the TikTok accounts of the Paralympics account and the Olympics account If they were all the same, then I would be like, cool, whatever. But for me, I want to learn about the athletes. I want to learn about the sports. I want to see like highlights. I want to know, like, especially when they do throwbacks on stuff on the Olympics one. So like you see someone talk about Olympics coverage, or this reminds someone of something else, and then they'll recirculate those old videos. So like Michaela Maroney's vault started coming back up after the Michaela Skinner stuff. Like I want to be able to have a history of past and present competitors and like how the games went, like all of that kind of stuff. And 98%, I would say, because it's slightly shifted. There have been like a couple more not like this, are just meme format, joke format audios where like nothing in the description of who these athletes are, nobody's names. And it's just essentially using audios to make it seem like a joke. Like they're not heartwarming. They're not tearjerking. There's none of these things. And I don't mean in the sense of like, what's that? Like a trauma porn kind of thing. I mean, like, I want to watch somebody achieve their dreams. I want to see something like that. That's like so fucking amazing and so cool. And some of the audios and sounds that they're using not only make it seem like a joke, but I think it completely diminishes the athleticism in what they're doing, as if like it is not a crazy huge accomplishment and like, wow, this is great. Like for swimming times or whatever that is, someone hit their head on it and it was like, oh, bonk. And I'm like, this person is doing something amazing. And then if you look at the comments, there are people who are like, yeah, very not cool with it. And then there are a lot of people like, oh my God, I love this. This is hilarious. And I'm like, this is not, there are certain cases where I'm like, oh my gosh, we're all laughing together. This is funny. Suni Lee, who posted her video of like, can you believe it made it to the Olympics, of her splitting the beam. I think there's a very big difference there when it's someone who like, it's their name and their face behind it. So we know it's her. But like when my only introduction to these athletes is meme format, and then it goes, oh, cool. So the official account wants me to reference you as the girl who's screaming. That's all I have. You have some sport, don't know how old you are, don't know anything about you, don't know your name. And it's just the screaming thing. And I just really don't like it. And as someone who like is super excited for the Paralympics this year, I don't even get these. And I just started following them. I wasn't following them before. I don't even get them suggested to me. I only saw people start talking about this. And to me, I'm like, that's like a failure in the algorithm, because I am who you should be showing these videos to. If this was what you're trying to get, is people to show up and go. I don't know when they're starting. You don't have any of this there. There's none of this same sort of well-rounded content rollout strategy like there is for the official Olympics account. And I don't like it. And they've started doing a couple more ones talking about the sports, but they're just graphics.
I have been following it for years, like I think since the last Paralympics. And it used to be more of a mix between both of those things. And then within the last, I would say before the Olympics, other Olympics started, they really, like, this is all that they've been doing. I will say I am being fed it all the time, but it might be because I'm always liking, regardless if I watch it or not, I'm always liking because I want to support it. But when you're looking and you're like, I'm not sure if I should be laughing at this or not, then it does make it, yeah. But a lot of when it was more split, a lot of people were like, yeah, we love this. But totally. I personally haven't seen anything where people are talking, they were saying like, this isn't okay. But I can totally understand because I'm not sure if I should like it.
Yeah. So my whole thing is like, if you're not doing it for the other Olympics account, and these are being run completely differently, as in, I can't name a TikTok on the Olympics account that is in this style. You know what I mean? And like, if there is one, that's fine. But again, it's the combination of everything. And I think like when you take away saying even the athletes' names or like what they're like, all of that kind of stuff, or the accomplishments or anything like that, it does.
Or even what the sport is.
Yeah, it makes it like it doesn't matter who's making the content. It's a funny, quote unquote, viral, like meme thing. It's not even about the Paralympics. It's like anyone could have posted that. And everyone's like, someone hitting their head. That's so funny. And so like, it's not, to me, it's just, it's irrelevant. And then it's not becomes, oh, we're all laughing with you because I don't even know who you are because they didn't tell me who you are. So I can't laugh with you because we're not on the same field here. This feels like it's giving the same vibe as like those reposted like viral things of, oh, my UPS driver accidentally like flashed, got pants by whatever. And like, it's like a repost account that you're like, this isn't even, I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know if this is real. I don't know what this is. And so I find that part of it like super impersonal, which is a stark contrast to how much I have learned about the Olympians without seeking out that information.
Valid point.
I think that there's room for humor and funny and meme content and like everything. But if there's only a certain group of people that you are comfortable doing that exclusively with, and you're not doing serious content or informative with people, because again, the informative content right now is just graphics. So yeah, I don't love that. And I don't want to necessarily blame the social media person like as like a whole, just as them, because a lot of people like to do that. I'm like, that person gets paid almost the least at any company. So like they don't have, but it could be one of those videos or a couple of them went viral and it was like stick doing that thing. And so maybe that's the orders or whatever, but I don't like it. And I don't love the comments, especially when you see how people who are saying that they love it. And then when people respond being like, I really don't like this, seeing how they reply. And it like pretty quickly goes into ableist language.
All right. Well, you're not wrong. Here is mine, which is also Olympic related. And it is not sexist to criticize Rachael Gunn. And before I get into this, first I want to say that the rumors about her setting up her own governing body for breaking or that her husband is part of the selection committee is not true.
Oh, damn. I loved that lore.
I know. So Rachael Gunn, aka Ray Gunn, is a prominent Australian break dancer who made history by qualifying for the 2024 Olympics. She also has a PhD in cultural studies, and her research focuses on the cultural politics of breakdancing. So I'm sure all of you have seen her Olympic performance, and it is a sight to behold. She quickly became the talk of the town, the talk of the world after her performances, I should say. And Australian Olympic chief Anna Meares attributed much of the criticism of Gunn as misogynist abuse, suggesting that female athletes often face disproportionate scrutiny and negativity compared to male counterparts. But the thing is, in this situation, the only people that she's being judged against are also women. And just because you suck and you're a woman that is a break dancer and people are judging you negatively, that does not mean that it is sexist or misogynist. I personally have no business breakdancing, and so therefore I don't do it. But she also, the judges who were judging everyone, she received 0 in all 3 of her rounds. Again, this was all against women. She was being judged against women. She lost 18-0. Like, that's not sexism. Also, just because you have a PhD in something doesn't mean that you should be teaching or doing it. I don't know anything about her teaching, how she is received by her students. I have seen a video of her in the classroom. I was uncomfortable watching it. I had a white teacher who taught African American literature, and she was awful and demeaning and quite frankly didn't understand the significance of what she was doing, the cultural significance. And she would argue with the Black students and praise the white students when we were having discussions. And after complaining about her, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I know that she was no longer teaching that class anymore. I do know, like, now they've properly put it in place in African American Studies department, and it's taught by all Black teachers because there is a cultural significance to that. And I say all that because it's one thing to read about something, but it's another thing to understand it on a historical, cultural level. And with the remarks that Rachel has made and the way that she carries herself, it's clear that she doesn't understand the breaking culture at all. And the response would be the same if a man sucked. If he got out there and did a rhythmless kangaroo hop, windmill, snake slither, the sprinkler, then we would also be talking about him. And I'm sure there were a lot more qualified people who could have taken her spot. I've seen videos, and either the judges on the selection committee, they either hate Rachel and wanted to make a fool out of her on the big stage, or they just hated the other people. Either way, do better, Australia. Really, like, how did we get here? How did we get here?
Yeah. I sometimes, as someone who believes women are inherently better, sometimes you are bad at something in spite of the fact that you're a woman. Not because you're a woman. You actually were able to overcome what I think, I give women so many more chances. Even with all of that, you were that bad. You happened to be that bad. You were bad in spite of the fact your womanhood.
That so many regular people have been able to do her
entire
quote
routine,
unquote dance from top to bottom perfectly with perfect execution in the way that she did it speaks a lot. The normal person should not be able to compete on an Olympic level.
The way that my 4-year-old nephew said, that's bad, and then showed me his breakdancing and said, look how good I am. And I said, you are better. And I have to say, just the boldness and the gall of knowing you're going to get up on a worldwide stage and embarrass yourself round after round, the way I would have faked anything.
I think she thinks she's good because I've seen other videos of her and she's doing the exact same thing.
She's very consistent.
And so when you're winning things, then that makes you think that you're good at something. When you have a PhD in something, that makes you think that you're good at something.
Yeah. I did see someone who was like, she's colonizing in her professional and her hobby life. Like, this is just, it is a multifaceted aspect of it. And I agree. As somebody who is familiar with people and what some people who get PhDs, this is literally about nobody on the podcast, obviously. All of our PhD listeners, you guys are fantastic and flawless, wonderful, amazing. But yeah, sometimes kind of in the similar vein of your teacher, sometimes people who hold a certain viewpoint or think that they matter inherently more than other people in something that they don't, use their ability to get higher and higher education to back that up in a way that benefits them financially and socially. So yeah, I'm devastated to hear that wasn't like a real scam. I do think that like there's got to be some. There's something more to this fucking story.
There's something else going on because I watched the qualifiers and who she was battling was significantly better than her.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something else going on. Even if they're not on the selection committee, maybe she's friends with everybody that's on the selection committee.
And like, again, regardless of the country, truly, no offense to everybody, I've seen better breakdancing off the Olympics. Like, that was not the best I've seen, even remotely close. I've seen better drunk at a frat party. And so even within that realm of like, we already know this is not actually the best of the best, to be the worst of that, and then you got there, I'm like, okay, sure, they got there because, drug testing and also these competitions isn't necessarily the most, it's like, like you said, it's like skateboarding last episode. Like, it's not that's that you're going to be on like a clear trajectory line of like winning contests and that equates to how good you are. Like, it is a lot of time like just a hobby, not a competition that you're participating in. But even with all of that, she shouldn't have won her qualifier.
Right.
So, yeah. It's not because you're a woman. It's because you're bad.
It's because you suck.
Yeah.
Like, you suck.
You're bad. And it's okay. Women are allowed to be bad at things, and you're bad at this. So you just need to know you're bad at it.
Also, her husband is bad at it. They're both bad because I'm looking at it because I'm not being sexist because you're bad. But also, I've seen videos of your husband. He's also bad.
Yeah.
Equally bad. And I didn't know that y'all could just be on the same playing field with that. Y'all are both equally bad.
Exactly.
And if that's not equality, I don't know what is.
And you embarrassed your country. And you're going to have to live with that.
I saw a video of them. They were hyping her up, but it was clear they were making fun of her. And I don't like, she's like, they were supporting me. And I'm like, do you not see that these people are making fun of you? But if she wants to live in that delusion, I'm not even going to apologize. And you got on the world stage and saw that this is not what everybody else thinks is good.
If this isn't a time for me to do a fucking inventory of everyone who I let in my life, I go, you bitches let me get up and do all of that. Because
she doesn't think she did anything wrong.
There you go.
You didn't score. You lost 18-0.
Maybe they kept meant to write 8s, but they forgot to they just did one circle and they forgot to write the bottom of the 8. You're just bad.
You're delusional.
And pick a straw. Here's the thing.
Right.
Being delusional
you can be
is
great
wonderful. But when you're bad at something and then delusional about that, that's when we get to this is just embarrassing for everybody involved. Right. Don't subject us to that. Do that in your own life. Don't bring it to the worldwide stage. And now she probably can single-handedly, it's not single-handedly, but I'm sure they're framing it that way in the media, that she one and only beat.
That's what people are saying. I'm like, they had already decided that they weren't doing the Olympics, but a lot of people are saying that they
had an MC and they had 18 judges because so clearly they were yeah, we're actually not entirely sure. This is very subjective and not something that we're wildly familiar with, the ranking or any of that.
Even the woman that won, I was like, you weren't even the best of all the ones that I did see.
And all the ones I did, and I've still seen so much better.
I've seen exponentially better out in the streets. So I'm glad that the people that didn't want this to be an Olympic sport, as in the people that participate in this art form, and they were like, nah, we don't want this. I'm glad that they got their wish that it's gone.
Yeah. I will say though, again, you bitches should be so fucking thankful that this ended before you came to America.
Yeah.
Because the way Karen Bass would have she would have gone to Hollywood Boulevard. She would have collected, watching everyone breakdance. Come along. We're training. You guys wouldn't have known what fucking hit you. Well, shall we take a quick break and come back with our next segments?
We shall take a break. It probably won't be quick, but buckle up.
We need money.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Thank you so much for listening to our ad break, everybody. We appreciate it so much. Don't forget to shop all those codes. And let's get into our next segment. Melissa, what is our next segment?
This is But Are You Wrong? And that's when y'all write in and share the problems, predicaments, issues that you're having in your life that are just not demure. And you share them with us. And then we decide if you were right or wrong in the situation. So you can send us an email to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com and let us know your situation. Include your fake names, include your ages, include your zodiac signs if you want. I've never said that, but you can include it. Just make sure it's all 300 words or less. Also, only send messages that are for But Am I Wrong to this email address, please.
I was trying to pick that and I was like, what is this one above it? That's for...
If you have other information that is for, not for Don't Blame Me and not sending it to the Don't Blame Me account, or But Am I Wrong and not sending it to the But Am I Wrong account, please send it in a DM.
And if you can't DM us, send us an email and let us know that the DM isn't working and what your username is, because we've had to manually.
You can also send us a message on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, Meghan and Melissa. Love you both. My question is, would I be wrong to end a friendship over comments made about my house? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to finish reading it. But
Can you finish reading
already? I'm like, of course. The way I would be like, if I'd be livid as a new homeowner. I don't even know what they said. In 2023, my boyfriend, 35 male, and I, 32 female, moved from LA to the IE to be closer to family. Initially, we weren't thrilled, but to our surprise, we really liked the area and bought a house here earlier this year. A few months ago, my friend, Ava, 32 female, came down to visit and made some pretty rude comments. Some examples. So this is the area you picked? Wow, such a small kitchen. I couldn't do it. It's insane here. The amount you guys paid for what you got is wild. And through her entire visit, Ava kept comparing us to her cousin who just bought a beautiful brand new condo. Our house is older. Now, Ava does not live in a mansion. She lives at home with her family in a house that I think is maybe just a little bigger than ours. My boyfriend has asked that I not invite her back, and he no longer wants to hang out with her. He pointed out that even if she was speaking from jealousy, that was just rude. I hate confrontation, but I'm also considering letting our friendship fade out because this is the worst time, but not the first time she's been catty. I have had other friends come down to visit, and none of them said anything similar. Our house is big enough for us to each have our own office. We have a big yard for our dogs, and as a bonus, we have incredible neighbors. We both feel very lucky and grateful, and I can't tell if it's making us overreact to this. So, would I be wrong? So, did I speak a little too soon? Yes. Only because I would be a massive hypocrite as somebody who talks so much massive shit on the IE, Inland Empire. That's Riverside area where I went to school. So her saying, so this is the area you picked. I feel like it would be hypocritical of me to be like, I've said bitchy things about the IE, but in no way, if I knew my friends moved specifically, if they moved to be closer to family, regardless of where the fuck you move, like moving to be closer to family is something that is very fucking common, especially in Southern California. And also if I knew that you like loved where you lived, if you invited me over to your apartment being like, I have to get out of this lease, I fucking hate it here. And I show up, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I fucking hate this place too. We have to get you out. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, this place is so cute. Like, no, you should stay. Like, it's great. I'm not going to do whatever vibe you need from me. I'm going to do that. If you love the place that you just bought, I love the place you just bought. Like, I'm kind of with your boyfriend with this of being like, even if her comments are based in jealousy, I don't love this kind of personality in a friend. Like, I don't love this kind of like, I don't know. Some people on the internet think like I'm like a wildly like negative person. Nobody who knows me in real life like thinks that. Like, I'm not, I like to bitch about things or whatever, but like I'm not like a all hope is lost. I just want to sit around and like just wallow. I'm not like that. Like, I like to talk about fun things, funny things, whatever it is. So to me, I just wouldn't enjoy this even if it wasn't about my house. I just wouldn't enjoy hanging out with someone where they're just pointing out everything that they hate. It's just not fun. So
why would you do that to somebody? Like, I just don't understand. Honestly, this sounds like my mom, which this happened before I was born. So this lets you know how much that this upset her. It was her and my dad got their first house, and her best friend came over and said it looked like a little Cracker Jack house.
What does that even mean?
Like a Cracker Jack box, like it was so small.
Oh, I was gonna say those are the cutest boxes ever.
Yeah,
she meant the size.
It was so small and didn't understand why they lived there. And then my mom started making bank. My mom and dad started making bank, and then my mom was excited for her friend to come over because then the house, different house, different area, everything was different. And so it was kind of like her rubbing in her face because her and her friend lived in the same house that she bought when they were initially friends their whole life. Yep. So things had changed on her. And I'm not saying like just because like you live in the same house for years and years, like that's a negative thing, but like you can't talk shit on other people's houses.
Yeah.
That's just rude. It's rude. It's rude to talk shit about something that's not yours, and especially to their face.
Yeah.
Like that's an asshole move. I mean, I think you can end a friendship over anything. And if you decide that this is what, I'm guessing that this isn't the first thing that she said, because you said she's always been a negative person. So like, if this is a straw that breaks the camel's back, then so be it. Like, if you feel strongly about ending this friendship, do it. That's you.
Yeah. I think that like, it's a very sad state of mind someone has to be in to perpetually shit on something that someone else is excited about. Like, I think like the people who get like a sick satisfaction in that are like so miserable in their own lives. You would not be wrong to end the friendship at all.
All right. My turn. A while ago, I interviewed for a job I really wanted, and it was perfect. Unfortunately, they rejected me, and after crying myself to sleep, I gave myself time to mope, then put on my big girl drawers and started applying for jobs. After applying for 20 plus jobs, I landed an interview and job offer for another place. It wasn't my first choice, but it was the only place giving me an offer, so I took it. A few weeks later, the job I got rejected from suddenly needed to hire a lot of people. So I resubmitted my application with an email saying, although I was previously rejected, I feel like I'd be the perfect fit for the job, blah, blah, blah. The person said that. I wasn't saying that. Monday, I had a Zoom with one of the supervisors. She remembered me from my first interview and said she and another supervisor really liked me. She said the only, in all cap, reasons I didn't get the job was because one of my references was concerning. Apparently, someone said I was disorganized and didn't do well in stressful situations. I assured her that was not the case, and I wasn't sure who would say that about me, but now I'm curious. My question is, would it be wrong for me to try and figure out who gave me a bad reference? My plan is to send a, "Hey girly," text updating them on the job process, hoping one of them confesses. I know finding out won't change anything, but for someone to say that about me without talking to me first really pisses me off. I may do it anyways, but I would love to hear your thoughts. All right. No, you wouldn't be wrong, because you need to know if you interview for another job, if you need to have this person down as a reference. Also, you are re-interviewing for this job. So therefore, if you haven't changed your references, this person is in the mix of your references. So if they call again, this person is going to give you a bad reference. I wouldn't go about it in the way that you're saying to do it, because I don't feel like somebody will be truthful. If you just send a "Hey girly" text, I would ask point blank, "Hey, I got another job interview. Can you just let me know what you said in the reference? Let me know when they call. Let me know what they say. Or here's another one. This is the best idea. Ready? Give me this person's information. Give me all your references information. I will pretend to be another job and I will call and ask for your references and pretend, and I will find out for you who this person is. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty close to what I was saying. What I was going to say was call all your references and say, I would keep it vague. Hi, I got a follow-up I'm about to meet with a company that I'm having a follow-up for to discuss something one of my references said. I want to go in. They told me they said they'll let me know what they said and who it was. And they're going to tell me, but I want to go in kind of prepared. So I'm just calling all of my references to find out what they said so I can go in having my responses to that feedback or whatever prepared. And if they immediately because she's like, I don't think they'll tell you what they said, but I think they'll go, I don't actually really remember. That's, you'll find it based on their responses to it without a doubt. But I think Melissa's is even more foolproof because there won't be the filtering. Because I'm saying you'll go by based on how they respond and you can tell who's clearly lying. But that way, pretend to be a different one, be a different employer, and make a Google Voice number.
I will do it for you. If you want me to do it, I will 100% do it. Hi, I'm calling from, no, I know where you're located. I can put on the accent. I'll be good at it.
That's what Melissa's offering. I'm offering, I can't promise I'll do it. I can't do an accent.
You're an actor though.
Yeah, but that one, we know, it's a tough one. It boggles some
it's
people.
Tough for you.
So, yeah, it's because it's vastly important and not petty whatsoever. You have to remove them from your references. I will say though, if you haven't, it doesn't sound like you have an indication of who it could be, because on the other hand, I know someone who didn't include someone as a reference, but ended up stumbling upon that this person worked with these people, called those people, and those people said nasty things. And that solidified why the person got the job, because if those people hate you, I hate those people. And therefore, I'm going to love you. Like an enemy of my enemy is my friend, essentially. So, which, by the way, super unethical. You're not supposed to call people's references who are not a reference that you just...
I've literally had somebody, I was dating this guy and somebody that I did an internship with. And he was like, I think y'all were there at the same time. What do you think about this person? This is a while ago. Now I don't even remember who it is. But they asked me for a reference, and I just honestly, that's not somebody I would want to work with, but I knew that it wasn't the right thing to do. So I just kind of gave a roundabout answer, and they were like, but would you work with them? Yes or no? And it was a no, but not my problem.
I think the whole reference thing in general, if you don't have time to be a reference, if you don't if you're not a person who's good with your words like that, if you're not someone who enjoys doing that, you should decline being a reference or pass it on to someone who you work tangentially with who can be that reference. Because I see it a ton of times, even people who are doing nanny ones, and parents, they've had so many people call for a reference that they just get fed up and they just start shutting it down. And it's no, you're actively preventing someone from obtaining employment. And if you have nothing nice to say, they should decline being a reference.
And did you ask them to be your reference?
I would assume so if you're going to reach out.
I would assume so, but maybe they didn't and they got caught off guard.
That's a good point. But yeah, I mean, in future, if you didn't, always ask your references if they can, because again, some people are just not there. It's the shopping cart theory. Some people are the kind of people who are leaving their shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot. They're not putting it back. They're not going to do something that takes an extra minute, 5 minutes, 30 seconds out of their day that benefits somebody else that they don't find acutely benefits them in that moment. So it's a skill and an art to figure out how to get those references. And it's hard if you don't have a lot of work references at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, please take Melissa up, because we could be on we can do a Zoom, not for the podcast, obviously, just for us. I want to hear what happens. You can hear what happens, and Melissa will talk, and then we can report back the update to the podcast. But we didn't include that to them,
right? Unless you wanted us to,
and unless we had, hey, do we have your permission to record, and then distribute? I'm like riled up for you. That makes me mad.
Too. My leg is bobbing up and down because I'm ready to tussle.
But also, I will say that it's a great sign that company said that they told you that, because it's essentially being like, hey, can you fix this so it doesn't come up again?
And I think they wanted to hire you and then they re-interviewed you. So that lets you know that they're not taking this person that seriously anymore.
No, but I'm sure that like someone who's not conducting the interviews, but who's signing off on everything is like, oh, well, this person had a representative, like, but this person didn't. And everyone's like, yeah, but this person was not a great interview. But to them, it's like automatic disqualifier. So
yep,
I think they're looking out for you.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are They Wrong?
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the magical millennial.
And I'm the dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to see you next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
We are back. It is time for But Are They Wrong? And this is where we nominate a person, place, or thing, something in pop culture, in the zeitgeist, that we think deserves to have a wee bit of public shame, or a lot of public shame, or we just want to gossip about. And this one was a headline that when I saw it first posted on Reddit. And when I saw it, I was like, there's no way. At first, I thought I clicked a link because the link didn't look like a very official news site. And I was like, okay, speculation.
That's, my ears are perked because that's how mine is as well.
Okay, great. So, and just want to apologize, everybody. I think both Melissa and I were like, the other one will definitely do Jordan Childs. Neither of us did that, but we support her wholeheartedly. Give that girl fucking secret security. Protect her. Jordan, don't give that fucking medal back.
No. Also, like, if they would have judged right to begin with, it would have never been an issue. And this would never be happening.
The whole argument that, like, she, like, missed the timeline, she didn't. She didn't miss the timeline. She was within the time range and all of this. And also there is...
with seconds to spare.
Mm-hmm. And there's someone who is on, like, the committee for sorting this out is also a former Romanian coach or judge or something. And it's like, no.
And also represents them when they've had other issues.
It's corrupt. It's fucked. And there's nothing more patriotic. Might I say this is a stand your ground law. Jordan, that is your medal. Wear it under all of your clothes every single day. I hope it doesn't tarnish when you shower.
It will. They're all
I
tarnishing.
know, I saw that. They're
But it's because it's
patinaing.
real metal. That's what happened.
Yeah, they're turning in the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. But did you see what Flavor Flav got custom
Melissa,
made for her?
did I see? I'm almost at the point where my phone knows I don't have push notifications for him turned on, but they still give me them. They say Flavor Flav posted, and I go, of course he did. My first YouTube channel was named after him. It is gorgeous.
What was it?
It was Flav's Crew. Yep. Melissa, I wasn't kidding. I love that man. I've loved that man forever. I've said from the beginning, he is an eye. It doesn't matter if he didn't cast it. As I was a teenager, I was like, he has an eye for talent. He found Tiffany Pollard, and I go, oh my God, a casting director found her. He was just there. But boy, oh boy, is he a great person to bounce that comedy off of.
What you mean is, yeah, boy.
Exactly.
Is he a great person to comment
Exactly. So I saw that and I was like, I fucking love him. No, that man works hard. He got texting thumbs all the time. I swear to God, he probably has arthritis for all those connections he's pulling, all those strings, all those people he's got.
In case you didn't see, he had this custom bronze clock, and it looks incredible.
It's
this
stunning.
bronze clock that mirrors what her rightful medal looks like. And like, it's so classy. I was like, this is so nice. And he got it made in hours.
It's beautiful. It is not a DIY job. Like, this looks like Swarovski. Like, it's chic. And it's like rounded in a way that he took into account what it's trying to emulate, but also her style. Like, it's not in his clock, like his original clock style.
He
Like,
will
it's
literally just get a clock that you buy from Walmart and put a string on it.
Exactly.
This is jewelry.
It's jewelry, and it's like, it's graceful and feminine. It's very beautiful. So I love it.
The reason I didn't pick it because it is changing every hour, so I didn't know where we would be by the time this aired.
I kept trying to do a write about it, and then it just kept changing, and there's more info, and that's all where I stand is she deserves the medal.
We stand with Jordan.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. But.
So I love her. And yeah. So my nomination is Disney. That's not yours. Okay. So
that's not mine, but it was on my list. I just wanted to do a lighthearted one.
I saw this and again, clicked through kind of janky website and I said, this probably isn't real. Then I go and search just on Google filtering with news. And I see BBC and I go, oh, we're getting real serious. We're getting the Brits. We're getting buttoned up here. Yeah, this is for real. And what it is Disney has asked a Florida court to dismiss a wrongful death lawsuit filed earlier this year from a woman who passed away due to anaphylactic shock after eating a meal at Disney Springs, citing an arbitration waiver in the terms and conditions for Disney Plus. And as somebody who had been forced into arbitration based on a lease that I had signed, where I had to go through that first and we had to go through mediation. And if we couldn't agree in mediation, then you're allowed to go to court. This is a much more lengthy legal document and contract that is also much longer and buried in quite literally the terms and service, which are legally allowed to be in a small font. So Disney's asked the court to dismiss the wrongful death lawsuit that was filed by her widow, Jeffrey Piccolo, after she passed away in October of 2023. So I apologize in advance if this is not the correct pronunciation. I'm going based off what someone else was saying. There's a couple ones that I definitely know it's not. But Dr. Teng Swan died on October 5th, 2023. And what had happened was she has a severe dairy and nut allergy and informed the waitstaff at the restaurant of her dietary needs and was unequivocally assured, that's in quotes, that they could be accommodated. She then ordered and ate her meal. It is also cited in the legal proceedings, the exact meal. And then after the meal, she returned to they returned to their hotel room, and her mother-in-law continued to shop at Disney Springs. And later in that evening, she had an acute allergic reaction in Planet Hollywood, self-administered an EpiPen, and then was transported to a local hospital where she later died. I think it's really important to note, which I didn't find initially in some of the news articles, that he is suing her widow is suing Disney for a sum in excess of $50,000 in legal costs. That is minuscule. It is so fucking minuscule, specifically in a wrongful death charge. It's pennies. It is pennies. That to me is covering funeral costs covering whether, like, she's a doctor, she's working, covering mortgage so you can, whether get another loan out to cover where you live or to move or whatever. Like, that is not, I don't even think that's enough that he's suing for. And to me, that I think the fact that Disney is responding in this way makes it even more insulting, because this is not fuck you money. And he deserves fuck you money. So in the latest update for the wrongful death lawsuit, Disney cited legal language within the terms and conditions for all Disney Plus accounts, which, in quotes, requires users to arbitrate all disputes with the company, which they then say basically that her husband, Piccolo, reportedly agreed to this in 2019 when he signed up for a 1-month free trial of the streaming service via his PlayStation console. So similar to, like, you get a new iPhone, you get 3 months free of Apple TV, and then you cancel it or you re-up it or whatever. That's what's happened on the Play. It's wasn't, hey, I'm looking to, like, subscribe to Disney Plus for a month, see if I like it. It is included when you buy the product. And the Disney attorneys say that the Disney Plus subscriber agreement states that any dispute, except for small claims, must be resolved by individual binding arbitration. And they say that similar language he agreed to when he used the My Disney Experience app to purchase tickets to visit Epcot at Walt Disney World in September 2023. But she died before they can even attend. And the motion says, from Disney, whether Piccolo actually reviewed the Disney term is also immaterial. Fucked up, bad fucking PR. Like, not only cruel, just stupid. His attorneys called the latest motion preposterous. That's absurd to believe that an app that has 153 million subscribers has waived all claims against the company and its affiliates because of the language buried within the terms and conditions. And in the same filing, his attorneys also cite that he is serving as a plaintiff in this case on behalf of his wife and her estate, not as an individual, and that his wife's estate literally did not exist at the time of him signing up for the free trial of Disney Plus, and that Disney's trying to attempt to enforce an agreement that was never signed against a party that never even signed it. Like, it's just so fucked, and I don't think it'll stand up in court at all. The one that I've seen people talk about is the one of the Disney parks that might stand up in court, but that is for the day that you attend and you're doing this thing or whatever. That never happened. You never attended. And as somebody who's always felt so safe eating at Disney, because I've never had a problem with them, this to me is, like, so terrifying, because for there to be such a trust instilled in a community that, like, most places, I'm not trusted when they say I can eat everything. But Disney, I've always trusted. And I'm so lucky that I do not have an anaphylactic reaction to the foods that wouldn't see in my meal or whatever. But that is, like, not the case for everyone. And for something that is, like, renowned within the allergy and food intolerance community as being, like, this one of the safest places to eat out of the house, that to me is, like, so fucked. Like, you built all of this trust and then you said, fuck it. Who the fuck cares? And it sets a ridiculous legal precedent that no one could ever sue anyone for anything ever. And it's completely unrelated. And again, I don't think it'll stand up or hold up at all. All it does is make Disney look like a villainous mouse. Like, it's evil Mickey. Like, like, it's so fucked up. This man lost his wife, $50,000. That's all he's looking for. And for legal costs. And you're going to say, fuck you. You signed the terms and you signed away your right to do anything with the terms and conditions of the streaming service you used for 1 month years ago.
And also, like, if they were smart, they would have just paid it and been on their way. This is not even like a hole in their pocket.
Yep.
This is so dumb. He deserves his wife. He deserves not to be lied to. But financially, he deserves way more than this.
Yeah, so much more. And, like, the way the ADA is going to, as they should, fucking comfort. Like, it's just, yeah. Like, to me, it feels like ultimate villain move, because this is a man who's not even asking for what like you said, he deserves his wife back, but he deserves so much more than this. And to me, that's an indicator of, I don't know how much money he personally has. I don't know how much money he's looking to spend on lawyer fees. I don't know how great his lawyer is or whatever that is. But to me, someone's asking for so much less than they deserve. To me, it feels like Disney saw that as an opportunity to say, let's actually give, if he thinks this is all he deserves, let's give him less. He deserves more than this, but let's give him even less than what he's asking for. Because we feel like we can walk all over him, because he should be asking for way more. And so clearly we can get him for less. And I also don't even know how strong that holds up, because again, it's obviously different. But in my lease, it was, if you have any disputes about returning the security deposit, we have to go through mediation first. And if it cannot end in mediation, then we can go forth into legal proceeding. Because I don't know that you can say we can't do anything else.
No.
I wonder how quickly this lawyer will be fired, because this is the worst PR move I've ever seen from a company who desperately needs good PR.
Not the worst one. I'm not going to say it because I would have to say a trigger warning, but not the worst one. All right. Mine is a little lighter. The lustful looter. And they don't have a real name because they haven't been caught yet.
I love an open investigation.
So a man is accused of stealing $1,000 worth of sex-related objects from Tender Moments in Fort Myers, Florida. The video shows a mask-wearing man using a brick to smash open the front window. Well, it's a door that has a window that is made of glass last week, and eventually entered the store. And then the person that was doing all this, they definitely knew what they were looking for, is what the owner of Tender Moment said. She said they definitely knew what they were going to grab. Headed straight for the male section and stole a female torso off the wall. Ran back out and then came back in with a duffel bag and proceeded to steal some adult toys, a male enhancement pill, a few random items, the owner continued. So here's a list of everything that they stole. A $300 sex doll, a double-ended dildo, a stroking toy male rose, which I didn't even know men had roses. There's also condoms, erectile dysfunction pills and male enhancement pills, and a vaporator vibrator. They ended up going, I don't know what that does. I'll look it up. But they ended up going back and forth in the business 3 different times. They even changed their clothes, made sure they had their hot pink duffel bag with them. So like you go through the process of changing your clothes, but you continue. And I want y'all to look at the video because this dude looks so goofy running. And they've got this hot pink duffel bag going in and out the store. And they did a total of damages that estimate nearly $2,000. So if you're in Florida and you have information on this, you can call the Crime Stoppers at 1-800-780-TIPS. Tipsters can remain anonymous and earn $1,500 in cash.
I'm obsessed with this. As soon as you started saying it, I was like, this man is either buying anal focused things or one of those like life-size women torsos to have sex with. I was like, there's only 2 ways to go about it. And of course, someone who is too afraid to buy this would, of course, also need erectile dysfunction pills. There's a lot of shame in this interaction.
So I looked up the vibrator, and it's a vape on one side and a vibe on the other side.
So sorry, we're smoking pussy juice or anal juice, or what juice are we smoking? What's the shape of it? It is giving vagina, or
think of a electric toothbrush, and one end is rounded more like a dildo, and then the other end is the top is a vape.
Oh, by the way, this looks like a skincare tool. Doesn't it? This looks like an
I think you could just stick a toothbrush at the top, and it would be an electric toothbrush. It vibrates already.
What side do you smoke out of?
The one that it looks like you smoke out of.
No. The one that I clicked on didn't have the cartridge on top. And so I was like, where the fuck does your mouth go? I see it now. Yeah, so that could be really used for any orifice. Yeah, that's definitely a purchase he's been pondering for a while. You know, because like that's not a supermarket sweep item I'm grabbing.
Who thought of this is my question.
Do you think that he saw the public shame that happened when Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens were pictured in a sex toy shop and they have photos with fans and it's like them standing in front of vibrators, or when Meghan Trainor and her husband exited a sex shop and had like clear plastic bags with like large bags just full of goodies and stuff. Did he say, I am the Meghan Trainor of Fort Myers, Florida, and if they see me here, I'm going to end up on the equivalent of our TMZ, which is, I think, Wink News.
I have more respect for all the people above that you named, and I didn't even know that these things happened because they actually went in during the daytime and paid money for their goods.
They supported a small business.
Yes. And speaking of small businesses, I think she's only been open since February. And you want to go and not only break in, but steal multiple times.
But also, clearly, you know where everything is that you want. Yeah. So you've been in there before.
Yes.
Why are we so worried?
I hope. Well, they probably, I'm guessing because of the nature of the store, they probably don't have like security cameras running during the daytime, maybe.
I think they would. Because the nature of the store.
Because of the way that this dude was running, it is very clear. If I saw them on the street, I would know who that was.
A distinctive run.
Yeah.
I have so many questions. And again, he didn't steal any money.
Mm-mm.
So I'm like...
They're just coming for the goods. So you got $1,000 worth of toys and then $2,000 worth of damage.
He's running like he just got back from, you know, you go to like a sleepover at your friend's house and like you have your like boots that you were wearing on and you don't zip them all the way and you have like your sweatpants on and like they're too big. He's that, and then it's like raining. He's running like it's raining, like where he's like hopping.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm obsessed with the fact that where I'm seeing this from, a Wink News exclusive.
I was on the actual news site, so
yeah, no, but they have this on the. It's as if it's a meteorologist. They have it projected, and there's a news anchor in front gesturing to what we're seeing. I'm loving that.
That's how I saw it. Was there's a news anchor, but I think he worked for CBS or something. I don't know. I don't think he knew that he would be able to get away with so much on the first trip. And so he was like, ooh, let me go back. Ran out to wherever his vehicle was parked.
So the first thing he got was the torso.
Mm-hmm.
That makes total sense to me.
You got it. It's the ham.
That was the target.
Sweeps.
Melissa.
Was it the ham or turkey that everybody was getting?
No, it's a ham. It's a ham. Unless it actually, depending on the season, they actually might have switched to a turkey.
I think it was ham
because they don't have a whole full turkey year round.
Mm-hmm.
It is a ham at Supermarket Sweep. They said, let me get my big ticket item and then we'll go back for the rest if we've got time. This man is we actually narrowed the search down. This man is a Supermarket Sweep fan.
Did you see recently there was this couple that epitome of they were roommates? These two men that were on Supermarket Sweeps like back in the 90s. And people were like, yeah, roommates. And then they posted an update and they've been happily married like this whole time.
I love that. Did they like position them as like roommates on
like
Supermarket
business
Sweeps?
partners? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's as it is. It is. I remember when I learned that you could be roommates with people that like you weren't romantic with. Because like growing up, I met as a kid, a lot of gay couples, gay men, lesbian, all of those things. And when people were like, oh yeah, I'm moving out with like my friend, they're going to like be my roommate. I was like, you can live with your friend. I never once thought they were friends. I was like, I knew there was something. You can just live with a friend. How fun. But yeah, I love that. That's sweet. I haven't watched that show in fucking forever. That's as soon as we got rid of cable, that and Chopped, never saw again.
I mean, I haven't seen it since the 90s, so.
It used to be like a late night, same with Unwrapped, that they would just air in the middle of the night when you're sick. Oh, wow. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Look at our niche one, except mine's apparently not that niche because you already knew mine. I did pick it though at the beginning. I picked it on like Sunday or like very early on.
Okay, well, I saw it after that. So
yeah, I saw it more recently. I was like, damn, I'm not going to be the first.
Are they reporting it on ABC sites?
I saw BBC.
Yep, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
ABC is Disney.
Mm-hmm. Also, I haven't seen it on many American sites in general. Okay, well, that's it for our episode. We hope you all enjoyed. Please don't forget that you can always send us what you think we should talk about. If you have a hot take that you think we might have a hot take about, or a rant, or anything, or someone you think should be nominated for Wrong of the Week, and we might do it. So you can always send it to us on Instagram, and you can also tag us on TikTok. But if it's like disturbing, give us a heads up before you do and send it in a message. Don't tag me.
Or just don't. You don't have to do it for me.
Yeah, don't do it for Melissa. But send me a message and I can go find it myself. Please don't tag me in it unless I follow up and say, sure, send it to me. But yeah, And as always, please vote for who you think was wrong in this episode, and we will read the results next week. Stay tuned tomorrow to hear the results from last week's episode. And join our Patreon to see Melissa and I nonverbal communicating, if I'm saying the right thing. Anything else?
No, but we will. Why do you always do that?
Because I forgot. I was like, I don't know what she's saying. We will
circle back. You're supposed to look at me the whole
I know,
point.
but I forgot what we were going to say. And so I was trying to look up to see if I could find it up there, and I didn't. I was looking. You ever do that when you can't think of something and you're like looking up?
Yes,
I was like,
do it. Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I was trying to do it. And we will circle back.
Goodbye.
Bye. But Am I Wrong is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
And production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the co-hosts of the Let me try that again. Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the hosts of Christmas Countdown Show.
We're so thrilled to be bringing the merriment to you all this holiday season.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be massively merry,
Oh,
gigantically jolly, fantastically festive, as some people might say, Eric. We are all about alliterations, and we are all about Christmas spirit. On Christmas Countdown, we love to count down our top 10 favorite things related to the holiday season. That could be food, movies, music, everything that we all love about this massively merry good time. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you click that subscribe button. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, and we hope that you are too. Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's go. It should be like, let's go, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.